Hey guys, how's it going? It's Dan Coney here and welcome back to Overwatch. So this is probably the second video I'm doing today, and if not it's the first and the second will be later on. Haha, I don't know which order my videos are going out in. Oops. Anyway, this is a bit of an off the cuff video. I haven't really made any notes about it. But it's about the up and coming changes. And the changes that are now live on the PTR for Sombra and Mei and Doomfist. Not so much Doomfist because I don't really play Doomfist. Sombra. Let's start off with Sombra. I've been playing a ton of Sombra on the PTR. Why is that? Because I think she's so much better. I think the devs have really hit the nail on the head with these changes. They really, really have. I think these changes possibly could come in better than the Mercy changes did. It does change significantly how Sombra is played. She doesn't revolve around hacking health packs and building EMP charge on health packs. Although you still can use the health packs to an advantage, considering they regen quicker and they give you more health when they do regen. And EMP is still massively powerful, and even more powerful now considering it can stop things like Genji's double jump, Pharah's hover jets, things like that, Lucio's wall ride. Things like that, it can stop it. And that makes EMP very, very powerful. It stops mobility, as well as just abilities. Mobility and abilities are stopped. It kind of makes you a sitting duck in certain circumstances. Especially Winston. Imagine Winston with no leap. It's a sitting duck, right? So, Sombra's going to get more DPS-y. Now, we've seen her used in the Overwatch League as hack health pack, put translocator down, go invisible, go into the back line, get a bit of damage off, take a bit of damage, go back to the health pack, and get your health. Charge your EMP. Obviously, it's not going to charge EMP now, but she's going to be very flanky. She's going to become more like Tracer, in my opinion, although not exactly like Tracer. In fact, actually, sometimes she could probably be better than Tracer, because with a Tracer, you can kind of finish her off, because even if she uses Rewind, you kind of know where Tracer is, right? Whereas if Sombra comes in behind you and she has a translocator placed, you have no idea where that translocator is. Yeah, the little animation, she zips off in the direction she's going to. But if there's like 2 or 3 health packs in that direction, you don't know which one she's at. So this, I think, is going to be really, really good for Sombra. It's making her so much more playable. And the reduce on the spread of her weapon fire, oh my god, it's glorious. It's not quite as good as Tracer's, but it is glorious. I love it so, so much, and I tweeted about it. It is a really, really good change to Sombra. I could see myself playing more of her. Because, okay, let's put it plainly. I don't win matches in deathmatch with Sombra. I just don't have the aim, right? But before the changes, or on live, I would go in as Sombra, I'd play 2 games, I'd get absolutely ripped apart. And I'd be like, no, I'm shit at Sombra, I'm not going to play her anymore. The night the PTR changes came in, I went on the PTR, and I played 7 games of Sombra, and I didn't win one. But I still wanted to play Sombra. Because she just feels so much better to play. And that little decrease in the time it takes to hack something. Oh my god, it's glorious. It makes it so much more fluid. You can just walk by, hack a health pack and go. You don't have to walk, stop, hack health pack, go. You can just walk past, hack health, go. It's so much more fluid. You don't have the pause. It feels so much nicer to play. But that's not the main thing in this video. What I want to talk about is Mei. Now, we all know how lovely Mei is, right? Obviously, the devs don't like things that make players feel bad, right? Now, we all feel bad when we die. But if something kills you that's not terribly skillful, i.e. like a Hanzo scatter arrow, it doesn't feel good, does it? And the devs don't want that. They don't want you to feel like you've been killed by less skill, right? So how is that different? To me, in my eyes, how is that different to Mei freezing you with AoE, mind, It's AO. Her primary fire has a slight AOE on it, just like Moira's healing, right? Healing dust. It's freezing you, coming up to you. You can see her right in front of you. She's got that endothermic blaster pointing at you, and you know she is going to shoot you between the eyes. You are frozen solid, and you could do nothing about it except take your fate. Accept your fate. Blast, you're dead. That is one of the worst feelings in Overwatch, right? It feels so rubbish. So rubbish. Now, in my opinion, how is that different to Hanzo's scatter arrow? It isn't really, is it? It still feels bad. Both feel bad, right? They are changing scatter arrow, as we know. They are going to change it to something that doesn't feel as bad. That obviously requires more skill, and I'll go on to that later in the video. What about Mei? You've increased the freeze time, devs. She can now freeze someone not for 1 second, but for 1.5 seconds. You are frozen for longer. Reducing the amount of skill it takes for her to perform that maneuver. Right? She can line up her headshot really easily now you're frozen. And I thought it was pretty easy before. Right? 9 times out of 10 you'd hit it. And that one time you're probably just not paying attention enough. Anyway, right? So, this kind of bugs me. And I have been coming up against Mei's on the PTR, and it still doesn't feel very good. And it just feels worse than before. I hate that feeling of just looking at you with the Mei in front of you, holding the endothermic blaster, and you're just like, for fuck's sake, what am I meant to do here? You're trying to run away, and I can't move. It just doesn't feel good, right? This is me going on a little bit of a rant, so I need to be careful. I had a thought on the stream a couple of days ago. In fact, I was playing PTR Overwatch, I was playing all the Sombra. Ha! Why not change her fire around? Increase Mei's skill cap, right? Change her fires around. The endothermic blaster shoots out icicles that damage, right? Change them. She shoots icicles that freeze people. And she shoots a primary fire. I might have to change slightly, but like an AoE sort of like dusty fire, whatever. That damages. Swap them around. Then, right, imagine if you are a Genji. And you're in your team, and you pull out that Dragon Blade, right? And then Mei sees this. She shoots her endothermic blaster with an icicle. She shoots and hits the Genji and freezes him as he's ulting. Oh, the skill shot to shut down an ulting Genji. Now, if I'm a Genji in that situation, yeah, you think, oh shit, this is really bad. But you're thinking, actually, that's a really good shot by that Mei. That's a really good shot to freeze me with that icicle. Fair play. You think that in the end, right? Instead of trying to take her out with a Dragon Blade and she's just moving around spraying her spray and gradually freezing you. That's not really that skillful, is it? Come on. Anyone could do that, right? You don't even have to have pinpoint accuracy to do that. So, she could freeze someone with her icicle shot from the endothermic blaster. It requires aim, so it requires skill to use, right? Or at least some skill. Then she can damage. Obviously, you'd have to increase the damage that the spray does now, right? She could damage and kill that person, right? But she has to land the icicle shot to freeze them. That, to me, is a better concept of Mei than what she is now, freezing you with the spray and then killing you with the icicle. Just swapping it around, I think, would make me... I know I'm saying me a lot here, right? But I think that would make it feel so much more skilled when you're killed by a Mei. Because she has to land that shot. And let's face it, what DPS has a spray like Mei's, really? And I know the devs like to keep certain aspects about heroes because it's iconic to those heroes, right? Like Mercy's Resurrect. They want to keep Mercy's Resurrect because it's iconic to her kit. The same with... it's not so much the same with Hanzo's Scatter Arrow, I suppose. But they would never remove Genji's Blade, because that's essential to his kit. That's what makes Genji Genji. They wouldn't remove Sombra's invisibility. That's essential to what Sombra is. That's what makes Sombra Sombra. Right? The same as they just didn't remove Defense Matrix for D.Va, because it's an essential part of her kit. It's what makes D.Va D.Va. But, so you wouldn't move the spray that Sombra has, but perhaps stop it from freezing, make the icicle shot a freezer, and then make the spray a damage dealer. Perhaps swap around like what Moira's got or something. I don't know. I'm not a dev, I couldn't implement it properly, but it's just a thought I've had on the Mei situation, because honestly, the way she is at the moment, I think she'll just get changed again. Somewhere down the line she is going to get changed again, in my opinion, because this isn't going to... I don't see this making much of a difference to me. I've had discussions with people on the PTR, and they've said, Mei still feels terrible to die to. She's still not that good in many situations. How's this going to change Mei? You've increased her clip size basically, and you've allowed her to freeze someone for 1.5 seconds instead of 1. I don't think this will have the desired effect as I think the devs wanted. And it just feels rubbish to die to her. Now, moving on from Mei, we get to Hanzo. I'm going to gloss over Doomfist. Basically, he's got more shots from his knuckles. They deal less damage. He's just more consistent damage dealer. And his shots regen quicker. He's just more consistent dealing damage now. Hanzo. They're looking at Hanzo. Now, obviously, the big problem with Hanzo is Scatter Arrow. We all know that. We hate dying to a Scatter Arrow. I mean, if you're on Orisa, you're behind your barrier, Hanzo creeps up behind you and hits you with a Scatter Arrow, you're dead. I mean, that's like 400 health. It's a bit ridiculous, right? So, what the current opinion, I think, is they're going to give him her jump ability. A bit like Genji's double jump, but it goes horizontally. And it'll go in any direction your keys are leading, right? So like Tracer's Blink, if you're pressing D, then you will jump right, even though you may be looking straight forward. Similar to Tracer's Blink. This gives Hanzo a bit more mobility, a bit like Genji and Tracer have. And basically it gives them a get out of jail free clause when it comes to attacking people. And it looks like they're going down the road. They've tried a few different things. And it looks like they're going down the road of giving him a rapid shot instead of a scatter shot. This would allow him to shoot a very high number of arrows in a very short space of time. Now, from what I read, and I think I'm quoting this correctly, 3 arrows per second with 80 damage each. 480 damage over 2 seconds if he lands all of his shots. Kind of makes him a Gatling gun when that ability is active, but it's an interesting one, and it looks like the one that's most likely to make the PTR right now. They've been thinking of a piercing arrow that will go through barriers, but then doesn't feel very good if you're a Zen in the back line. Getting killed by a Hanzo through a barrier just doesn't feel very good, doesn't make sense, and it kind of negates Reinhardt's or Winston's or Orisa's job. So it's an interesting one, but I'd really like to see how this rapid shot plays out. It's going to be a really, really interesting one. Is it going to make him more viable? It's a difficult one. It certainly, I think, takes away the feeling of like dismay when you get killed by a scatter shot. But does it make him a more viable pick? No, I don't think so. I think this will lead to extra changes to try and make him a more viable pick, because obviously the devs want all of the heroes to be viable picks for everyone at every single opportunity, or to have at least a decent high like pick rate. Mercy was way too high. That's why she got nerfed. And now I think Mercy's in exactly the place she should be. She's not dead. She's not OP. She's right. And it's made every other healer... We're kind of in a golden age of healing, or a golden age of supports, because it has made every other support viable. You can play whatever support you want, with the exception that perhaps another change that might come through is Anna. She has got a bit of a problem at the moment. But her problem is she can't heal through barriers. That's Anna's problem. Whereas everyone else, well, within reason, everyone else can. Further down the line, I did make a video on this the other day, but obviously looking at Symmetra Torbjorn, there's no details on that yet. Torbjorn is further down the line than Symmetra. Symmetra, they already have concepts for what they might do, but they haven't actually implemented anything yet. Symmetra is a very, very tough one. They're purely looking at her because of her pick rate, and for Symmetra, it's like, what can you do without drastically changing her kit? It's a very difficult one for Symmetra, and if you want to make her viable, Symmetra's biggest problem is her attack. She's unplayable on attack. She's absolutely unplayable because she has no forward damage. So no long range forward damage. Whereas on defense, you can put turrets around places and you can bring them in, and she's not that good on payloads either. She's very much best on defending control points or defending 2CP. That's why you see so much from Volskaya or Hanamura. Generally first points because she's so good on those maps, but she's a pick in her own right. Torbjorn's a difficult one. They're looking at Torbjorn. Now, what Jeff Kaplan said in the developer update was, we want to make Torbjorn a more accepted team member. What does this say to me? Yes, Torbjorn is a good pick and is in the right scenario. Hanamura first point. Volskaya first point. Hanamura first point. Viable picks for Torbjorn. Again, very situation heavy. But obviously, you have one tricks in the game of Overwatch. And there's a very famous Torbjorn one trick. And these, obviously, this goes back to the issue of, do you ban one tricks? Now, Overwatch devs don't want to do that, because they don't want to influence the meta. Even though they've done that countless times with Mercy changes and new heroes. Let's not get into that. That's another video that I'm planning. But consider this. I think Torbjorn is being looked at because of his pick rate and the fact that he's not seen kindly by the community. I think they are changing him to try and make him more accepted and to try and stop Torbjorn players being reported. I know that's controversial, right? But it seems that way. Just those words, making him a more accepted team member, just make me think, they've looked at the amount of reports Torbjorn players are getting and they're thinking, right, we need to change Torbjorn. We need to make him more accepted and a more viable pick on a lot more areas. But they have to be careful, because some characters, including Mei, Doomfist, Torbjorn, Symmetra, they can become very, very powerful if you make the wrong changes. And they know this very well from Mercy. They changed Mercy and the first change was so powerful that she became a must pick. And they do not want must picks in the game. They do not want a hero that says to teams, if you don't have this hero, you're going to lose the game. And that's effectively really what Mercy was. You had a much, much lower rate of wins if you did not have a Mercy on your team. That's why she's been an insta-pick for most Overwatch League teams. That will change with Stage 2. Now, I think that's all I wanted to cover. Obviously, I will go into another video about how the meta can be influenced about what the devs do. And that's a video I want in itself. I don't want to go into it in this video, because otherwise it'll just make it too long. I'll do a whole video on that. But these changes are significant. The Sombra changes are fantastic. But the Mei changes I still think Mei needs a looking at. Hanzo will be interesting to see on the PTR very soon. And Sim and Torbjorn, who knows? Who knows? But for now, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you in the next video. See you then!